This is a struggle that we, all of us are going through. Just like what Crystal Lehman said, it's not about Indigenous people anymore. Song says, you guys can breathe and you drink water. It's all our problems. When our ancestors first signed the treaty, they couldn't speak English. They didn't know anything about European law, European government, and the economy. They had interpreters. They sat there and they listened. Could you imagine what's going through their minds? Let me give you an example. My uncle, he was sitting with me, a spiritual man, 10 years ago. He told me there was game warden to come to our community in Fort Chip. These are government people. They said they counted the animals. You can't hunt this anymore. You can take that one over there, those animals. But only 3, or maybe 10. And you can't walk on the land anymore because they're protected. My uncle said, you know, we couldn't tell them because we don't think the way he does. He said that, you know, when we go back to the land, he said that we had to communicate back to the animals and plant life. We have to tell them, these people said we can't hunt, we can't take you anymore. And we know that if we listen to the game warden, and we don't hunt you no more, pretty soon he said, you don't want us anymore. Those animals are going to go away. And they're not going to come back anymore. What he's really saying is that there is a contract, unwritten, a spiritual contract, that our life forms of the earth got together in indigenous countries right across the world. When a new species were born, because life forms were before humans, the embryo of this new species were human beings. And they knew that we were going to have a tough time. And we did. So they said that we want to help you. Because we were dying off, like the Neanderthals. Neanderthals died off. We don't want this to happen to you. They were so happy to see a newborn species. You mothers know what that means. So they said, they had a meeting. Our spiritual people went up to the meeting, like a big concert like here. They talked. One by one, they said, we're worried about the human being. What are we going to do? And they said, we're going to help them. But you know, you can't just go there and kill us. There's an intimacy between life forms. There's like an intimacy between two human beings. Your significant other. And there's a form of compromise, contract, reciprocity, intimacy. I give you my life. You give me yours. Let's respect each other. That's what the animals, plants, and things from nature, they loaned us their powers. And they said, all we have to do is watch. If you kill us, take care of our bones this way. Fish said, if you take care of our remains and our scales this way. The birds said, their feathers. The plant said, what do you do with the roots? You can't pick us any time. Certain time you can pick. Same thing with the things of the earth, like rocks. They talk. And as long as we honor that, and we only take what we need, and we don't spoil. And one by one, when spiritual people were in that meeting, on another level, this meeting went on, I don't know how long. Long, I guess, because each one by one, said, I give you my life, but these are the conditions. You all sitting there, you all have, in your genetic roots, you go back into your indigenous roots, you will find it'll take you back to the old country. This was before greed. This was before land becoming property. Because when that happened, wars hasn't stopped. And they said, go by these rules. Go by this contract. So that's what we did. We took a life, an animal. We talked to them. We gave them thanks. There's medicines in animals, medicines in plants. They too have relatives. They too have siblings. They too know their sacred songs. You guys sitting here, the old people 40 years ago, they watched white people come into our rituals. And he said these white boys and white girls, they think they lost their culture. Those old people couldn't speak English. They're gone now. I was in my young 20s. I'm going to be 64. This is October. Holy smokes, next month. So they said that you guys are good for your writing, your words. Put it in books. Trace your roots. You go back to your land and find the stories upon stories upon stories. Through those stories in your geographic area, you will find all your sacred places. You like the way we talk about land, about our spirituality. All indigenous culture parallel each other. We mirror each other. Once you discover those stories, you'll talk just like us. And once you do that, you're going to know that the idea of a new generation to go back to Europe and rediscover Europe again. Could you imagine that? To reclaim their indigenous culture and to reclaim the contract that life gave to us. And you could come back and say, the Alps are, mountains are sacred. The French valleys and prairies are sacred and the water's there. Spain, anywhere in Europe, you guys are the descendants of that. We're all the same. We're all the same. Your roots tell you that. So we have to get along together. You know, it's really important. I didn't know what to do with this little lady here calling me up. I didn't come here to talk. I have a hard time to breathe. I have a hard time to breathe. You know. But I remember you guys, you know, we have to work hard to save this. Our people, our native indigenous people right across the land, they're not surprised what's happening today. They saw it. Where we're going, it's going to be pretty rough. But you guys, we got to fight. We got to fight in a good way, kind way, a loving way, and not to hurt anybody. That's not what life. We're not here to hurt. We're here to inspire.